Welcome back, thanks for joining me. I am going to say it, please hit that like button. I never usually say it, but everyone always comments, they subscribe. Thank you so much for that, but you always forget to hit that like button, so I'm just going to say it this once. Today's video, we're just going to go through all the equipment that I'm going to be using in the Strongman competition coming up this weekend. You might see something in my equipment here that you might think is hugely useful for your own training. Comment below, ask me any questions about it if you want, or if I'm missing anything and you think there's something that I could use that you do, please comment it, let me know. I'm always looking to add to my equipment. So first thing, we've got the grip shirt. I know it looks like something out of an S&M party, but it is a huge help. So you've got the grip on the back, which obviously for my squats, but also for my yoke walk is going to be a huge help. Then you've got the grip on the front, which normally it's mainly for the Atlas stones. However, I'm not doing Atlas stones in this competition. It does help a lot with rolling that log up the stomach, but it'll also help with the sandbag carry. When I grip it up onto the chest, it's not going to slip at all. So that's the t-shirt done. Now we're going down into some of the other equipment. So I'm going to start off with a couple of the staples that pretty much everyone will have in their kit. We've got my belt. A 2-prong quick release belt, very, very handy. Going to chalk. So I've got two types of chalk that I'm bringing up. I've got my liquid chalk, which is very, very handy. It's easy to put on, it's quick, and because it's got alcohol in it, it will draw any moisture out of the skin, so it's really, really handy. The other chalk I've got is a block, which you carry around in a Tupperware container. It's just a lot easier, and that's really handy if you're putting it onto a shirt or putting it onto your forearms or your shoulders. The next one up is smelling salts. I know a lot of you out there will have used these if you've done competitions. Not particularly the nicest thing sometimes, but it gives you a huge boost before you go and lift, opens up that airways. It's a lot of help. Next one up, a lot of people won't have in their kit, which is the massage gun. This is really handy during the competition. For me, deadlifts, they really take it out of the lower back, make it tighten up. Deadlifts is my first event in this competition, so I want to make sure that if it happens, that I'm prepared. Somebody can just start hammering this into the lower back and it'll help a lot. Moving on to deadlifts. We've got our figure of 8 straps. So when you go to that heavier weight, obviously the grip starts to go a little bit and I don't want the grip strength holding me back. So we've got figure of 8 straps. I do prefer these to the normal straps that you will see where you're wrapping them round. I just feel like these are a little bit easier, they're a little bit quicker to get going. I've only recently got this, Cerberus. I've got a lot of Cerberus gear now. Really good, you can't really beat Cerberus gear. They're up there with Rogue and Cerberus. Are sort of the two main suppliers of Strongman kit, and they're brilliant. Now another bit of Cerberus gear is the neoprene belt. It's got loops for your normal powerlifting belt to fit through. This offers an extra layer of support. It's really, really handy, especially on the likes of your yoke walk, stuff like that. It's really, really helpful. But it also stops your powerlifting belt pinching in. If you have to get down into a low position and it can pinch your skin sometimes, this will stop that from happening. Staying on the deadlifts, we've got our shin guards. I love this piece of kit, to be honest. It's allowed me to basically drag that bar right in against the shins, and it has helped my deadlift so much. I have done a video on this. I'll pop it up on top and have a look at it when you get the chance. On to the elbow sleeves. Fairly straightforward these. They're just protecting those joints, keeping the joints warm as well. So for all my pressing event, I'll be using these. Next we've got my wrist straps. So nearly through it, don't worry, there's only one left after this. These are fairly stiff. I prefer a bit more support, but it really locks in those wrists. You can get lighter ones. These are, I think, the second stiffest ones that they do, Cerberus Elite ones. Brilliant. They've helped me so much. They obviously give you a lot of support, but they also give a lot of confidence because your wrist is locked in and you feel an awful lot stronger using them. And last but not least, we've got knee sleeves. This one I'm going to be using for my squat, but I'll also be using it for my carry and medley. So my yoke walk, farmer's walk, any of those ones, I'm going to have these on. They'll just provide that extra layer of support for the knees and allow me to lift a little bit heavier. The only other piece of equipment that I'm going to have to worry about on the day is footwear. So I've got Adidas Powerlift 4s, which are squatting shoes. Really, really good, check them out. And I'm obviously going to be using that for my squatting, but also for my press events. One of the things you might find is when you're pressing, when you're driving over the head and you're locking those shoulders back, and that allows you to bring the traps in and gives you a lot more power. But you can feel like the bar or the lug is pulling you backwards slightly. When you're using squatting shoes, because you've got that solid base of support, it stops you falling backwards. So with my deadlift, I'm hoping to go barefoot, but if not, I have Converse shoes, which are basically flat to the ground. I want the most amount of my foot in contact with the ground as possible. And lastly, for the moving medley, I have a runner that has a good bit of support in and around the ankle. This will allow me to keep up a good pace on the sprints back to get the next implement, but it will also give me a huge amount of support around that ankle joint. Last thing I'll be bringing is a resistance band. Really handy for stretching out and warming up, so I advise anyone going to competition, bring one of these. It's simple, most people don't bring it because they just forget or don't think of it, but it's really handy. So that's all my equipment. I know there's quite a lot of it there. With Strongman, because you're going through huge ranges of motion with heavy weights and putting a lot of pressure on your body, it's very important to take those safety precautions. If you've got a piece of equipment that can help you protect your body, it's important to make use of it. So just a few days left until that competition. I'm going to try and record the whole day and put up the whole competition for you to have a look at. It's going to be really interesting, it's going to be really fun. So thanks for joining me. Please like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.